Alive and alert on the north side of the dirt. It is your man D Real coming at you with another Be Real with D Real, where edutainment explains it. It seems to me people are having difficulty understanding representation as far as who represents you the way you want to be represented from a cinematic standpoint, from a comic book standpoint, the way you deserve to be represented. Now, before we get off into that, let's do what we need to do so we can do what we want to do. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Subscribe to this page. If you digging what a brother's shoveling, put some dirt in my bucket. Subscribe to this page. We real close. We real close to that band. We real close to that one band mark. And, things change for you on social media after you cross that 1,000 sub mark. I don't know why. It just does. But we're ready for that change. We're ready to engage that change gleefully. Comment, like, subscribe, and share to this page. We get ready to do some things. I'm going to stop talking. I can show you better than I can tell you. Just like I'm about to show you about this video right here about representation. I'm not going to take too long talking about it, but lately I have been observing on social media that there are factions of people that believe one form of representation is good versus another form of representation. And I would even go further to say there are some people who are ensconced in the mindset that if a person has the same color skin as you, you should trust them because they have your best interest in mind. Is that the case? Yeah. We all saw Django, and we know Stephen, a black man, did not have his fellow black man's interest in mind. And what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is this. There have been black men who don't give a damn about nothing but themselves. This is a fictional account, but I mean, if we go to the book written by Harriet Beecher Stowe called Uncle Tom's Cabin, we know those people do exist because that book is written, of course, from people suffering from what we like to call the Willie Lynch syndrome, the house Negro, the field Negro, the people who think, okay, I'm better than you now because. Do you trust them? Okay, now these three individuals are much maligned because of the political affiliation they choose to embrace, which in turn distances them from their fellow African Americans because they choose to embrace a certain form of belief, a certain type of belief, what they believe this country is based on the information that has been given to them, based on the information they choose to embrace and the people they choose to embrace that information from. So here we go. If you want things better for you as a black man, for you as a black woman, are those the people you're going to go to make sure that happens? If your answer is no, then my first question is, but wait, they're black people. Don't all black people have all other black people's interests in mind? Don't you trust them because of the color of their skin? Don't you trust them because of what they say? But they're black. So they've got to have your best interest in mind, right? They've got to have the same beliefs you have, right? Okay. At one point, we had faith in what these guys said and what these guys did. We trusted what they said. We believed that it don't get no blacker than this. So they could possibly be formulating thoughts and processes against what I would normally think as a black man. Is that the representation I want? Well, let's just be official. There are factions of us in this country that believe these guys have quote unquote sold out, that they are quote unquote cooning, whatever nomenclature you want to attach to it. They don't have the credibility they once did with the black community. And that is because of things they've said, things they've chosen to embrace. So it would be safe to say, while they presented themselves one way for decades, they showed themselves another way for a month or two and got exorcised from the black lexicon proper. It would be safe to say. Not touting my personal opinion here, simply stating facts. You trusted them. You put credence in what they said. Maybe not Soldier Boy to a certain degree, but Cornell and Calvin definitely. You know, you grew up listening to them. You listened to them in the club, you know, so they couldn't possibly go against anything that you believe, right? They couldn't possibly be trying to steer you in a certain direction as far as your beliefs, right? But there are some people who feel that way. My beliefs are being steered because of what these guys believe. And if those guys believe it, then I'm done with them. Is that about the long and the short of it? You don't FUCK with them no more, right? Because they done sold out, quote unquote. They was cooning, quote unquote. But for decades, effectively represented us. At least, you know, again, Cornell and Calvin. So we don't trust them no more. We don't want them to represent us because of their actions, because of their words. See where I'm going with this now? But it is just exceedingly difficult for people to say F these two, and one of them's a black man. You ain't got no problem. You know what I'm saying? Telling them I guess what I'm getting at there. It seemed like it's a disconnect when it comes to them, because they are touting something you love. They are representing something that means something to you. What's the problem? They led you to believe one thing was going on. And at one point, they were cool. We were cool with them. We trusted them. Whatever they said, we didn't question it. We just put credence in it. But as you can find, even the most staunch, even the most solid of people that we place our trust in can be unworthy of it. So to say, I'm trusting what they say because there's a black man saying it. Oh, let me put this. I'm trusting what they say because there's a black man out in front of it. Should we just trust it blindly like that? simply because there's a black man helming it, there's a black man associated with it, there's a black man representing it. So it's got to be down for us. It's got to be the representation we want. Not necessarily. And it is not a faction like Recast T'Challa driving a wedge between us as black people collectively. It is simply the way I see it. There is division, obviously, amongst Recast T'Challa and black people in general with this topic, because we can have opinions. We can have opinions about Ryan Coogler. We can have opinions about Steven from Django. We can have opinions about Baseball Cap Man and potentially questionable. Okay, so on this page, when we talk about what we talk about, we're talking about it from the aspect of where is the truth? Where does the truth lie in what people been saying about Black Panther? Where does the truth lie in what people been saying about T'Challa, about Nate Moore, about Ryan Coogler, about Kevin Feige? Is the MCU overall underperforming? And is it because of the current representation? Or do we stop to think about things like that? Or do we just simply go, oh, he's a sellout, or oh, he's a black man, so you got to trust him? All skin folk ain't kin folk. Ain't that what we say? When they show us where their allegiance lies, why do we keep trying to give them passes? Why do we keep trying to say, okay, John Ridley thinks what John Ridley thinks, but that don't make him no less of a black man? Okay, maybe it doesn't, but his philosophies and beliefs are things I don't identify with, and therefore I am not going to give patronage to what he does. 12 Years a Slave, didn't really like that movie, no way. Undercover Brother, it was cool. But now that I see, the mindset of the guy that made it, where did that come from? Does that come from a place of sincerity, or does that come from a place of I'm just trying to appeal to a group of people so that I can move up? Stepping stone, if you will. Long story short, just because someone black tells you something does not necessarily mean that black person has your best interest in mind, whether that be a celebrity, whether that be a content provider, whether that be a writer, an artist, or an editor. It does not matter what color they are. White people have agendas against black people. Black people have agendas against black people. And when I say against, I mean it's for the personal gain of that individual or individuals, not gain collectively for the people. You have seen people do this, yet you choose not to embrace the fact that this person may not have my best interest in mind. This person may not be thinking about me as an African American in this country and what I want to see as a fan of fantasy, as a fan of science fiction, as a fan of horror, as a fan of superhero movies. That's just a fact. Sorry, not sorry. If you don't embrace that as a fact and you just say all black, I got to give him a chance because he's a black man. If what I'm giving him a chance to do don't line up fundamentally with what I believe, I'm not giving him a chance. I don't care what color he is. Does that make sense? You know, it's not, oh, I'm MAGA or or I'm against black people. No, I just choose to think when everybody else goes, yep, that must be it. I go, wait, but what about? Oh, well, if you ain't down, then you ain't black. A couple of years later, we find out who is and who isn't black. Quote unquote. Think about it. If you just run around and go, oh, I'm down with them black people, but them black people ain't down with you, then you look foolish and ignorant, representing an opinion from a mindset of a person who doesn't give two farts about you. And they show it with their actions. Actions speak louder than words ever could. Please try to embrace that, y'all. Actions speak 1,000 times louder than any words ever could. Who do you trust to represent you is the question. And are the people that you are currently trusting worthy of said trust? Don't check me on it. Go look and see if that's what's happening for you and to you, representation wise. I'm Be Real with D Real at this site here, and I will be coming at you with another one of the other ones. And until I do, y'all be good. Be good to each other.